Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Angela, and welcome back to Decan Walk 2023. We are in Virgo Decan 3 now, as of today, September 12th, 2023. I will post Marlena Teresa's video below that she's the one that's leading the charge in this Decan Walk, and I'm just kind of following along. I have a book here that has the Decan Wheel. I've shown this ever since I started this, when we started in Aries. Then we went to Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, and then Virgo. And now we are in the Decan 3, which is the Ten of Pentacles. Is the card that equates to this Decan. And that looks like Mercury. Yeah, Mercury. And we are actually in Mercury in retrograde at this moment. So, this is going to be interesting. Because it's like double Mercury. It's weird, yeah. I have it here. So, the card that goes with the Decan, the third Decan of Virgo, is the Ten of Pentacles. And I've been using this deck pretty much since I got it 2 Decans in, I guess. May have gotten it in Aries, like the third Decan of Aries. But this is shows the upright meaning, gratitude, luxury, self-sufficiency, and culmination. It has the symbols here of Earth and Virgo. Here. Can barely see it. And then it has reversed here over investment in work, financial setbacks. And then it also is a yes or no card. And it gives you here the yes for the Ten of Pentacles. The cards that go with the Ten of Pentacles would be Mercury and Virgo. I'm making sure that's Mercury, not Mars. Hold on a second. That's the second one. Yeah, it's Mercury and Virgo. And as we know, since we've been looking at this, Virgo is equating to the Hermit in the Virgo Decans. So that is still the card that's been the mainstay throughout the 3 Decans. And then for the Mercury, which we've seen before, is the Magician. And I don't know why I set that upside down. So the Magician equates to Mercury, and there's the symbol of Mercury. There's the symbol of, what is that, fire? I can't remember. But we got Earth here for the Hermit, and Earth here in the Pentacles, which I find interesting. So, there we have it. There's our Decan for Virgo Decan 3. The Magician in Virgo, or I mean the Mercury in Virgo, which is the Magician in Hermit, that equates to the the Ten of Pentacles, sorry. I often see the Ten of Pentacles as, like what it says here, luxury, self-sufficiency, something that's opulent. It isn't just that you have everything you need. You have everything you need above and beyond. You're living the life. The lap of luxury. So that's how I always looked at the Ten of Pentacles. And of course, as we had discovered in the last Decan, I don't always equate to these cards that are more wealth based, because I've always been poor. And I'm like, really? And so yeah, I read the 36 Secrets and found it interesting here. So what I'm going to read to you, I'm going to read you a little bit here what I found. And it just kind of was funny because there's a couple things in there I'm like, what? And then it kept referring to this deacon as the earth and the world. And I just found that kind of beautiful because, and that this is a mutable sign, which means it's literally transitioning from summer to fall, which is literally my favorite time of year, where it gets cooler at night. The fireflies are still out, but it's not crazy. Today was weird because everywhere I looked, there were dragonflies, like hordes of them. And I actually went up looking it up because my husband called me. I had went to the Dollar Tree and I got out of into the parking lot, and there was just swarms of dragonflies. And then I went into Wendy's drive-thru, and as I'm going through the drive-thru, my car is being bombarded with dragonflies, and I'm like, what is happening? I felt like they were following me. And as I'm leaving Wendy's, my husband calls me and says, oh my God, we have like a swarm of dragonflies at our door. And I'm like, what? And I saw down the street from my house, there was a swarm of them just hanging out in the road. And then as we got to my house, I'm like, oh, he's full of it. They're probably out in the yard, but no. I got a video, and you can't even see them very well because they're constantly moving. A video of them swarming my front door, just swarming back and forth, back and forth. My husband literally walked through the throng of dragonflies, and it didn't even faze them. They just went around him, and I'm like, that's crazy. Never seen anything like that. And then I looked it up. Of course, this is mating season for dragonflies, so it makes a lot of sense that we're seeing a lot of them. But I've lived here over 20 years. I've never seen anything like what I saw today. And it just reconfirms, just things like that kind of reconnects me to the earth. And I know they're dragonflies and they're flying in the air, but it's still an animal and earthy to me. Everything animal in nature, anything nature-wise is earthy to me. So that just kind of, I just had to throw that out there. It was crazy. And I'm like, wow. And there was just so many of them. And the ones by my house were they were fat, and they were turquoise and blue gemstone colors. And they were just beautiful. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. But I did a video, and I don't know if you can even tell, that you can't even tell in the pictures that I took that they're there. But it was crazy. So I just had to throw that out there. Before this, so I went on a tangent. But I just found it very beautiful that it talked about the earth in here. So, a lot. So I'm going to read you a little bit of stuff here out of the book of T. Susan Chang's 36 Secrets. It says here, stories of return. We know that the hermit corresponds to the sign of Virgo. But who is that wise old man we see in the hermit card? And how is his archetype inflected in the 8, 9, and 10 of Pentacles? I believe that the 8 of Pentacles, we see the hermit's focus, the search for truth that drives him to seek out the unknown. And I felt really relatable to that. In the 9, we see the conditions and consequences of his mission, solitude. And in the 10, we see how long his journey has been and the years it has exacted. We get a sense of his age. The 10 of Pentacles is a populist card, but it is the grandfather, the progenitor, who holds the foreground. Although his time is nearly over, he is for one last moment still the hero of this tale. And I just find it interesting that we got an old man here. And the hermit tends to be an old man too. So there's a correlation there, which I find interesting. And then it says, in a way, you can see two stories run parallel in the sequence of 8, 9, and 10 of Pentacles. One is the story of a product turned out in quantity for public consumption, perfected and transformed into profit. The other is a human story of how we make tangible our life purpose and pass it down to the next generation. That life purpose might be any number of things: to make works that others can consume, to leave an intellectual legacy, or to help and heal others, or even simply to earn a lot of cold hard cash and leave it to our heirs as a trust fund. And then it says roads of no return. And implicit in both these stories of creation is the death of the creator. As we explored in the Eight of Pentacles, the Hermit is a mercurial guide to the underworld, safely conducting the sun's light through darkness to rise again. Welcome to the realm of psychopomp. But our clonic guide is a god of interpretation and translation, a trickster and offense. Although he may safeguard the light as it travels through the netherworld, we can't expect it to emerge unaltered. Hermes, famous friend to a man, takes our ghostly hand as we leave this world, conducting us on a one-way journey. Like the sun, we surely rise again, but never as we were before. And I find that quite interesting. That's the first time, but there's other times in here that she mentions the Hermit almost like the ferryman. He's already stepped halfway into the other world, the other dimension, the other plane of spirit. But he's still tethered here on his mountain. And I just found that very fascinating. And it kind of blew my mind. And I was like, I never thought of the Hermit that way. Never. Okay. And then it goes into some other stuff. And then it says, we can think of the light in the Hermit's lantern as the light of a human soul. As the Hermit tenders the light into the care of its underworld guardians, the body falls lifeless. It's no coincidence that Virgo 3 is the first or shadow deacon of the Queen of Swords. Okay, so I found that interesting. She who is so well known for separation, divorce, and widowhood, graceful though she is, and attuned to the airy music of Venus, her sovereignty and power begin with the dance of death. In the northern hemisphere, Virgo 3 sees the sunlight day diminish till it is equal with the night. The days are just long enough to bring in the harvest from the fast fading crops and store it for the cool weather ahead, or collect its seed for the spring. And I just found that interesting that the Hermit in that way is tied to the Queen of Swords. And I always say, because I am a Hermit, I'm a Virgo also, totally a Hermit, totally relate to the Hermit. I've always related to the Hermit. But I've also always said I'm the Queen of Swords. So I found that very fascinating that those two tied together in this deacon. And then it says, what you see is what you get. That's why in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the Tree of Life is depicted in its entirety on the Ten of Pentacles and nowhere else in the deck. It is a reminder that the cycle is complete, but it is also a reminder, in case we forget, distant as we are from the divine source, that there is much more to life than we can see, hear, smell, taste, and feel. And again, there's this otherworldly, crossing the veil kind of imagery you get there. And I just found that interesting because you kind of see the Tree of Life here, but I'll show you a card here in a minute that does show. It is totally the Tree of Life. And then I've just got to read this whole page, if I can get to it. Hopefully I have enough time. So what does all this have to do with the Ten of Pentacles? Everything. The Ten of Pentacles is everything we have worked to achieve, or harvested crops, our publications, our 401ks, our grimoires, our works of art, our houses and cards and clothes. But as we all know, we can't take any of this with us. For all these treasure to retain their essence, they must be given away so they can take root anew. Every dying plant offers up its seed. Its vital portion is immortal soul to be replanted. Who are we not to do the same? Without an animating intelligence, the body is just a husk. Without purpose, our accomplishments are meaningless. In tarot, the animating intelligence is purpose is symbolized by the sun. When the hermit encloses the sun in his lantern for its journey through the dark, he's giving it eternal life. Oh, this is the great work. The alchemist knows that when you transform lead into gold, the true treasure is not the matter that has been transformed, but the spirit that has been transformed. Not the metal, but the alchemist. That's why it has said that the virtue of Malkuth is discriminate and the right... Oh, I don't need to read that part. Hold on. One way or round trip. Both the magician and the hermit speak of journeys, but in very different ways. The hermit is a wanderer, a traveler to distant places. Some see him as Dionysus going forth with his lantern in search of an honest man, and he appears in Rider-Waite-Smith at the top of an ice-capped mountain, but his gaze is always downward, and as we have seen, his journey is often a descent, an archetypal endgame, last stop, Hades. The magician, however, goes anywhere and everywhere. The infinity symbol above his head could signify roads that return to their origin. No gate is barred to Hermes. Only he passes freely through the gates of the underworld in both directions. So perhaps when we see them together, it's a kind of promise. Death will truly come. It comes for us all. But even as we bear our lantern to that farthest frontier, maybe the God who is anywhere and everywhere will be there too, waiting to receive our lantern and bring it back to be born anew on this side of life. That just, I don't know why, but that was like poetry reading all that. And then I just have a quick thing here. Oh my gosh. It says, many times I've enjoyed the company of older relatives or finished up big physical projects when getting this card, but other times it has had a more sinister cast, accompanying deep fatigue, aches and pains, agoraphobia, for good or ill. The Ten of Pentacles comes with heaps of humanity, a reunion, an assembly, a city, even spirits thronging from their graves. Sometimes strangers are just friends who we have not met before, but sometimes hell is other people. And I just found that intriguing. It says Mercury is strong. The takeaway, Mercury is strong in the Ten of Pentacles, ruling both decan and sign. Therefore, we perhaps should expect planets enjoying both decanic and sign rulership to both exhibit skill and enjoy favorable conditions for the skill to shine. What special aptitude, then, does the Ten of Pentacles confer? Given what we know about the magician, the hermit, and the Ten of Pentacles, I've considered a few options. The solitary and scholarly practice of magic, a facility for communicating with the dead, or maybe learning dead languages, and ability to finalize the process from raw material to usable product, a thorough understanding of monetary infrastructures, and the judicious use of rest and silence. When you draw the Ten of Pentacles, any or all of these gifts may be yours, and you may find yourself in a position to make excellent use of them. Remember, however, that Hermes' special powers invoke movement, change, and transaction. What larger purpose will your gifts serve? Who shall benefit from them when you no longer can? When your life is harvested, in what form shall it take root next? And those questions were just crazy invoking thought for me today. And quickly, I'm going to read the poem. It says, This Bread I Break by Dylan Thomas. This bread I break was once that oat, this wine upon a foreign tree, plunged in its fruit. Man in the day or wine at night, laid the crops low, broke the grapes' joy. Once in this time, wine the summer blood, knocked in the flesh that decked the vine. Once in this bread, the oat was merry in the wind. Man broke the sun, pulled the wind down. This flesh you break, this blood you let, make desolation in the vein. Where oat and grape, born of the sensual root and sap, my wine you drink, my bread you snap. I just thought that was beautiful too. And I got just a couple minutes here. I'm going to show you, of course, from my Journey of the Sacred Bee, the cards. And this is the Ten of Pentacles here. And the keyword is wealth. And we have Virgo and Mercury, or Mercury and Virgo. And I just found it interesting here that it does show the Tree of Life here. And then we have the Magician with the here and the Mercury here. And then, of course, our Hermit that looks like a, he's from the 70s. I love it. And we've got Virgo here. And then for my Soul Cats Tarot, I just think this card is beautiful. The Ten of Pentacles, and that is beautiful. We also have the Magician, and he actually has the, figure eight, whatever you call it, the lemniscate, whatever, around his neck. And I was pulling it out because the Empress has the sign of Venus on her forehead. And I was looking for it in other cards here. I don't ever see the Hermit with the Mercury. I mean, Virgo or anything. But I couldn't find it in the Magician. If you guys see it in this card, let me know the sign of Mercury. I don't see it. I do show the necklace is the symbol here. But that's a beautiful deck as well. So that is my Decan Virgo Decan 3. Oh, wow. I can't believe we're at the end of Virgo already. Yeah, my birthday was 2 weeks ago, and I'm sad. It was on the 2nd. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, don't hesitate to comment below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification button so you're alerted to any future videos. And y'all have a good night.